Type in boho chic on Pinterest and you're bound to find Moroccan interior design swimming all over that ocean of inspiration. Google Zellige tile or Berber rug, and you'll find an internet's worth of obsession. And you know what? I bet that at least someone you know has one of these in their living rooms. For decades, Morocco has captured the world with styles so popular that even Architectural Digest says everyone knows that a Moroccan rug is the idiot-proof way to enrich a room. Okay, so then my question is, how the heck does everyone know that? And more importantly, what is it about Moroccan style that has all of us actually agreeing for once? Welcome back to A Style is Born. This season's all about mapping the countries and cultures who've made marvelous contributions to the world of interior design. I'm Alexandra, and this episode is a special one. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm in Morocco. Marrakesh. So in trying to figure out how exactly Morocco gave us one of the most timeless and inspirational and globally trendy and agreed upon styles ever, I came across a few interesting things involving, say, the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, a Woodstock performance from 1969, a Vogue obituary from 2018, the Sex and the City 2 movie, and something called the Hippie Trail. Now, you might ask, what do all of these things have in common? And what does all of that have to do with Moroccan style? And I might say, you'll just have to stick around and find out, because first, I think we have to dial it back a bit. As in, what is Moroccan style? Of course, it would take me an entire PhD and maybe an extra lifetime or two to get into the geographical nuance and historical background required to fully answer that question. So I'll pose another one. What would your house look like if it was situated between the Sahara Desert, the Atlas Mountains, and the Mediterranean Sea? Yeah, I know, right? Okay, now what if that same house, keep imagining with me, was inspired by thousands of years of nomadic and indigenous North African traditions? And on top of that, a few centuries worth of Islamic, Andalusian, Ottoman, and French influence. Now, jury's out, but I think your house would look a little something like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. What you're looking at and where I am currently are the stunning and iconically Moroccan Riads. Riads are traditional Moroccan houses and are quintessential examples of Moroccan style. From the walls adorned with geometric tile patterns, intricate carvings, and earthy plaster finishes, to the vibrant color palettes, hand-woven textiles, and sultry lounge furniture. Moroccan style is a highly ornamental visual feast with bursts of expression, craftsmanship, history, and love. It is without a doubt an interior designer's dream come true, and I can personally attest to this. For years, Moroccan style has inspired the way I approach my designs, especially in my own home. It's taught me how to use color, layer texture, and patterns, and above all, how to make my space feel comfortable and cozy. And it's no wonder people all over the world have sought to recreate this experience outside of Morocco, because at the core, that's what Moroccan style really is, a total freaking experience. So while we have thousands of years of indigenous traditions and a few centuries worth of cross-cultural dialogue to thank for Moroccan style, how can we begin to trace its spread to the rest of the world, especially to North America? We're not exactly cultural twinsies over here. For some, their journey may have started with the Sex and the City 2 movie. Although the story features the girls on an all-expenses-paid trip to Abu Dhabi, casual, those sultry locations were actually shot here in Morocco. Others might insist that it all began in 1942 when the classic film Casablanca had earlier generations intrigued by the exotic and cosmopolitan Moroccan city portrayed on screen. Funny enough, Casablanca was actually shot in California. And others might say it was the French, whose long-standing colonial enterprises, especially in early 20th century Morocco, have always borrowed heavily from other cultures. But friends, I've got another take. I think our story really begins with rock and roll. In the 1960s and 70s, countercultural waves were rippling through the West, championed by a music movement that tapped into our innermost bohemian desires. Rock and roll was the musical earworm that spawned a generation's worth of introspection, hedonism, and a gravitation towards Eastern spirituality, all of which not only terrified the government, but also sent people packing. And by that I mean traveling the world. In the late 60s, when the Rolling Stones and Jimi Hendrix, as well as other renowned rock and rollers, famously flocked to Morocco, their fans really caught on. And when Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young performed Marrakesh Express at Woodstock Music Festival in 1969, I'm sure you can imagine how many of the 400,000 hippies in attendance thought to themselves, wow, I really gotta get to Morocco. Thanks to artists like these, Morocco became a destination for hordes of hippies, hungry for the spiritual connection, artistic inspiration, and hedonistic hangouts projected onto the Moroccan lifestyle by their favorite celebrity bohemians. They soul-searched their way through the hippie trail, coursing through places like Tangier. They mazed their way through the ancient city of Fez, expressed through Marrakesh, and beached in the coastal town of Essaouira, where Jimi Hendrix remains a local legend to this day. Well, now I understand why Moroccan and Bohemian styles are so intricately linked. But also, I'm beginning to see how this rock and roll inspired travel trend not only put Moroccan style in the spotlight, but also made it timelessly stylish. In my research, I came across a Vogue obituary for Christopher Gibbs, who was not only London's most famous antiques dealer, but a counter-cultural tastemaker, coined with ushering haute Bohemian style into the age of Aquarius. And of course, he was BFFs with the Rolling Stones. The obit writes, it was a trip to Morocco that was to prove an epiphany. Gibbs returned to London laden with Moroccan textiles and rugs and beautifully handcrafted objects with which he stocked his first antiques emporium. Uniquely placed to sleuth and gather the spoils and market them with seductive style to a generation of fellow trendsetters. Back then and to this day, Moroccan home decor has been the ultimate treasure of traveling here. Famously sold in souks and lining Medinas all over the country, the sheer access to articles of Moroccan craftsmanship made it possible for anyone to return home with the mind-blowing magic of the style, which is of course still true to this day. Even after the hippie trail trend faded, influence on the world of interiors continued to travel. And if there's an aesthetic era that promises to constantly stay on trend, it's this one. Today, Moroccan design is for everyone, old bohemians and modern families alike. Heck, even the babies are sporting the poof. We love to see it. We're in an eclectic era of mixing and matching various styles and style decades. We're embracing history and worldliness in our decor. And we're definitely experimenting with some of the incredibly functional design practices of cultures way older than ours. All the while, we're making sure our homes are absolutely drenched in cozy. And what's cozier than being sandwiched between the Sahara Desert, the Atlas Mountains, the Mediterranean Sea, and thousands of years of history? Now, if all it takes is simply bringing in some rugs and pillows, a metal lantern, and a poof or two, then count me in. Shout out to Wayfair. They've got some absolutely splendid styles inspired and made in Morocco. And see you on the next episode of A Style is Born. Bye.